How many of you have learned something growing up that you passed on to your children? Maybe it was passed on to your mom or your dad, and you learned it. You didn't even realize it was a big deal, but just always do it. Well, I don't always do origami, but I was fortunate enough that my mom taught me this growing up. My mom is from Japan, and she learned it from her parents, I'm sure. And she taught us, and she taught my daughters, and now my daughter's teaching my grandchildren. So it's a lot of fun. It's something that you can do, if you're bored, if it's raining out, you want to get the kids active and busy into something. It keeps your mind active. You're thinking about how to fold the paper. So it's good for all ages, young or old, and it keeps your hands busy. So it's good for dexterity. You've got to fold the paper just so it gives you a little bit of practice with that, patience. It's a lot of fun. So I suggest everybody give it a try. And I'm going to show you a little bit about paper folding today. The book that I have a couple of books. This one's called Incredible Origami. It's got 95 projects in it. And in it, I'm going to show you how to make an envelope and a treat holder. Um, I tweak mine a little bit. I don't quite do it, the way the book does because I make it a little simpler. It's the way I was taught how to do it. So let's get started. First, I would like to tell you origami comes from the Japanese, the first century. It came to Japan in the 6th century, excuse me. I'm not quite sure where it might have come from before that. But anyway, the first thing I would like to show you is how to fold an envelope. The first thing you need to do is have an even um, piece of paper. It needs to be the same measurements horizontally and diagonally, excuse me, vertically. This is a 13 by 13 piece of paper, an origami piece of paper. It's from a book that my daughter had called The Biggest Ever Book of Origami, only because it's a very large book. But it has a lot of sheets of paper in the back, which are very pretty, and you can use them to create different designs. This smaller book has 6 by 6 sheets of paper with all different colors in it. And most of the books that I've seen do come with paper. I'm sure some of them don't. But if you don't have a piece of paper, you can use any paper you have at home. Notebook piece of paper. If you wanted to get to the exact size that you need, you just fold that piece of paper up in a V so that it meets the side, and then you would cut the top off, and you would have an even piece of paper the same size, uh, horizontally and vertically. Um, for instance, this little bird is made out of wrapping paper, but I had to cut it. So you have to make sure that your cuts are even. This little bird is made out of notebook paper. I just took an old piece of notebook paper and made that little bird. But anyway, the first thing I want to show you is the envelope because it's very simple, and I think we should start with something simple that you'll be able to create yourself if you should wish to. So you take that piece of paper, I've already pre-folded it to make it easier, and you're going to fold it up into a V so that it's like a triangle. You're going to take this top part of the V and fold it down, not quite to the bottom because you want it to be like an envelope. And this is called a mountain fold because you're folding it down like a mountain. This is the peak of the mountain. Fold it back up because you're just using it for the crease right now. And you're going to take the left side and you're going to fold it over a little over halfway. You want this to match up with the corner so that you'll be able to fold your envelope. So you can just pay attention to that. If you need to make a couple of tries, that's fine. Unfold it, refold it. But I'm going to fold that over a little over halfway. And I'm going to take the right side and do the same thing and fold it over. Now, in order to get it to stay, you can see that this has got the 2 pieces of paper. You're going to tuck this right inside there, and it just lays right inside there very nicely. Now, it's not quite an envelope yet because this is kind of open. So you're going to take this top flap here, and you're going to fold it down and tuck it inside these folds, like so. And you could write on there or do anything, or if you had the same color piece of paper on both sides, it would match. But when you do that, that closes this up, and when you open it, see, it is an envelope and nothing will fall out. So that's kind of nice. If you want to make sure it doesn't completely fall apart, I suggest getting a little sticker or a piece of tape and taping it right here. And then this is the top flap, of course, that you fold over like an envelope. And you can put a little sticker there and close it up. Address it on the other side. This is a little bit dark to address for the mail, but you can use all types of paper. Or you could just give this to someone. I mean, how many of you have lost an envelope? I know I have. You buy a card, and you're like, I don't know what I did with that envelope. So now you can create your own envelope, and you can fold it to this, to whatever size you need it to be. Let me show you a couple of small envelopes. This is the 13 by 13 piece of paper that we started with. This is the 6 by 6 piece of paper that I was showing you out of that little book. But see how small these little envelopes are? They're very tiny. So you really couldn't put much in them, but they're kind of cute. You could make a little gift, put a pair of earrings in there as a little gift, like a little gift packet. And you can use any kind of paper. So I'm going to put that aside right now, and I'm going to show you the next fold. The next fold is called a treat basket. This again, I'm going to start with the 13 by 13 piece of paper because it's a little easier to work with. And you can fold it either side, whichever side you want to be showing. Now, I'm going to fold it so that the design shows. So you're going to fold it up into a V again, like you did before. And you can fold the top flap down so that you'll have your little envelope and uncrease it, just like you did before. But this time, instead of folding it in, you're going to take it and fold the top part down to the bottom edge. And you're going to run it right along that edge there and fold it into a long fold that way. And the reason you're going to do that is because you need this crease here. You're going to unfold that, look at your crease, take this left corner and fold it up to the top of that crease, like so. Then you're going to take the right corner and fold it to the top of this crease, like so. Now you're probably wondering, how is that going to stick together? Because there's no fold here. If you see, there's no opening. Well, this is how you're going to do that. You're going to close that back up, take this top flap, just the first one, and if you look here, there's openings. So you're going to take this front opening, open it up with your fingers, and you're going to take this flap and tuck it in. I have to lay this down. I'm going to tuck it in. I'll bring it back up to show you. And it closes it and makes it into a little bag, a little envelope. It could also be an envelope, but it's a little bit different shaped envelope. So it's more like a treat bag that we would use it for, to put little treats in or little pockets. Another thing that we like to use it for growing up is you fold the top flap down and tape it and open it up. And it's like a cup or a scoop. You could scoop things outside. If you went camping and you didn't have a cup, you could have, if you had a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard that you could fold like this, you could fold it and you could dip it into the water in the stream and you have an instant cup. So this would come in handy, if you didn't have anything else. So you can be very creative and make different things, and you don't have to go just by what the book is. You can, sample around. But here's a couple of smaller cups here that I made earlier. This is a little cup here. This is a little treat bag. Again, you could put some kind of little present in there, little treat, put a little sticker on that and give it to somebody. But these are very simple designs. The cranes are a little more complicated. Here's a small little 6 by 6 piece of paper that I made into a crane. Again, another little crane. But the cranes are a little more complicated, and I thought it would take a little bit more time to explain, where I could make the simpler designs easier. This is like a little basket or a little box. You can also make another top piece and make a lid, and then you would have a complete box. This is a frog. It's kind of hard to see here. It's much more complicated. My daughter made this. I was never very good at making frogs. But you can make all kinds of little animals. They have designs in here to create dinosaurs, which my grandson loves. They have doll clothes in here that you can make, which I think would be really, really cool to make with my granddaughter. So I'm kind of excited to give these a try with her. I haven't practiced this in a number of years, so I'm looking forward to it. The story about the cranes that my mom told me when I was a little girl. A lot of little girls like to make cranes in Japan because there's a legend that says if you make 1,000 cranes, you're going to have your dreams or your wishes come true. I'm sure little boys can make them too, and it's just as cool. But a lot of girls would enjoy doing it because they thought that if they could make 1,000 cranes before they got married, they would live happily ever after. So it's kind of a cool tradition. I've also seen people make little, string them along, and you can make like a little bird chime, but they don't chime because they're paper. But you could probably add something in there that would make it chime. So it's a really fun, creative thing to do. I enjoy it. I recommend that everybody give it a try. I would love to see everybody else's examples or creations. Um, so give it a try. Post your videos. Send me an email and show it to me. I would love to see it. And thank you for listening to me teach you how to do origami. Thanks and have a great day.